The horizon trembles with fire, and for the first time since the beginning of creation, the world stands still. The oceans, once restless with endless tides, seem to bow in silence. The forests hush their whispers, the winds falter in their song, and even the mountains, ancient guardians of the earth, cast long, solemn shadows, as if paying tribute to the dying light. Above us, the heavens bleed into colors too fierce to be named. Gold, crimson, violet, and shades that seem stolen from dreams. This is no ordinary dusk. This is the last sunset. Across continents, humanity gathers. In crowded streets, millions tilt their heads skyward, faces glowing in the fire of the horizon. In quiet villages, families sit together in silence, holding hands more tightly than ever before. On mountaintops, lone wanderers kneel in awe, their eyes wet with the reflection of a sky burning for the final time. Strangers who once passed each other unnoticed now meet in shared wonder, bound by a truth greater than themselves. This light will never rise again. Children laugh without fully understanding, their joy piercing the stillness, while the elderly weep softly, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of endings. Lovers cling to one another, whispering words they had kept buried, words now freed because there is no tomorrow left to wait for. Around the globe, a single silence spreads, a silence not of fear but of reverence. Time itself seems caught between one breath and the next, between what has been and what will never return. The sky becomes a canvas of memory, every ray of light a story, every shifting shade a lesson. In its final descent, the sun does not merely fade, it speaks. It tells us that beauty is born in impermanence, that reflection sharpens the soul, that regret weighs heavier than stone, that humanity is one family beneath one sky, that memory is stronger than the shadows, and that even now, especially now, hope must endure. The last sunset is not just the death of a day, it is the unveiling of truth. It is the final mirror we are given, the last teacher we will ever know. And as its glow stretches across the earth for the final time, every eye, every heart, every soul is drawn to its fire, searching for meaning in the dying light. The beauty of impermanence lies in the truth that nothing lasts forever, and yet it is precisely this fleeting nature that makes life breathtaking. Imagine the final sunset spreading across the sky, colors so vivid they look as if the heavens themselves are on fire. Crimson bleeds into gold, gold melts into violet, and violet dissolves into the growing shadows of night. Every second the colors shift, never to return in the exact same way again. That is the essence of impermanence, an unrepeatable masterpiece painted across time. If the sun were to stay fixed in the sky, its light unchanging, would we ever stop to marvel at it? Would we pause our lives to watch, to breathe, to feel? It is the setting of the sun, the certainty that it will vanish into the horizon, that forces us to pay attention. Impermanence is not loss. It is an invitation to truly to see the beauty in a fleeting smile, to hear the weight in a goodbye, to feel the fragility of a heartbeat. In that last sunset, we are reminded that nothing, neither joy nor sorrow, neither triumph nor suffering, remains forever. The flowers that bloom will one day wither, the oceans that roar will one day calm, and even the strongest mountains will eventually crumble into dust. Yet there is no tragedy in this cycle, only wonder. For impermanence is the great artist of existence. It paints urgency into our days, tenderness into our love, and meaning into every fleeting moment we take for granted. The final sunset, more than any before it, whispers this truth into our souls: cherish this light while it lasts. For it is not the eternity of things that makes them precious. It is the fact that they will one day vanish, leaving us with only memory, only reflection, only the echo of a beauty that could not be held. The last sunset holds up a mirror to humanity, and in its fading light we are forced to see ourselves clearly, without the distractions of tomorrow. As the sky burns with its final glow, we are no longer thinking of plans, ambitions, or possessions. We are left only with questions. What did we do with the time that was given to us beneath the sun? Did we live with intention, or did we wander through days as though they were infinite? Reflection becomes unavoidable when the horizon is closing forever. The power of reflection lies in its ability to strip away illusions. We can no longer pretend that there will be another chance, another sunrise to correct our mistakes. Every word we spoke in anger, every silence where love should have been, every decision made from fear rather than courage, they rise to the surface in this moment, sharp and undeniable. And yet, within this raw honesty, there is also clarity. Reflection does not come to condemn, but to reveal. It shows us the truth we may have ignored when time seemed endless. Picture a world standing still under the last sunset. Strangers pausing in crowded cities, families gathering on rooftops, wanderers halting on lonely roads, all of them turning their faces to the horizon. In that silence, reflection becomes universal. Nations, religions, and divisions fade, and every human soul finds itself asking the same question. Was my life enough? Did I give meaning to my existence? Or did I let the days slip away unnoticed? The power of reflection transforms the last sunset into more than just an ending. It becomes a vast canvas where every memory, every mistake, every act of kindness is painted before our eyes. We see the wars we started, the peace we ignored, the moments of love we cherished, and the beauty we often overlooked. Reflection does not change the past, but it changes the way we understand it. And in that understanding lies the deepest truth of who we really are. When the last sunset spills across the sky, it does not only bring beauty and reflection, it awakens the heaviest of companions, regret. The weight of regret is unlike any other burden, for it is made not of what we did, but of what we failed to do. As the final light stretches across the earth, countless hearts ache with the realization of words left unsaid, embraces never given, apologies never whispered, and dreams that were buried beneath fear or hesitation. Regret grows loud in silence, echoing like a drumbeat in the soul when the world itself has no more tomorrows. Imagine standing at the edge of the world, the horizon glowing with its last fire, and every memory you tried to bury comes rushing back. The missed chances to forgive, the moments when pride silenced love, the opportunities you thought would come again. All of them rise like shadows against the dying light. The weight of regret is heavy because it cannot be undone. Time will no longer offer mercy. There is no dawn waiting to grant another chance, no sunrise to soften what was broken. The last sunset amplifies these regrets until they feel larger than life itself. The silence of the sky becomes a canvas where missed dreams are painted vividly, more real than ever before. We see the faces of people we once ignored, the paths we never walked, the potential we abandoned out of fear of failure. We realize too late that time was never a guarantee, only a gift, and regret is born from the belief that we had more of it than we actually did. Yet there is something strange in regret. It sharpens the awareness of what truly mattered all along. Beneath its crushing weight lies a hidden truth, that the things we regret most were not material losses or unachieved titles, but the absence of love, the moments of kindness withheld, the silences where words of comfort should have been spoken. In the fading glow of the last sunset, regret does not simply punish. It teaches, though the lesson may arrive too late. As the last sunset spreads its colors across the world, it paints every horizon in the same fire, uniting all of humanity beneath a single sky. For once, no border can divide us, no language can separate us, no flag can claim ownership over the fading light. The sun does not set differently for kings and beggars, for the powerful and the powerless. It casts its glow evenly, reminding us that we have always been one people, breathing the same air, walking under the same heavens, waiting for the same inevitable dusk. In the presence of the final light, the illusions of division dissolve. The wars fought over land, the hatred built from fear, the walls we constructed between ourselves. Suddenly, they all seem small, fragile, and meaningless. As the colors of dusk wrap around the earth, humanity stands equal, humbled, and united by the truth that this is not my sunset or yours, but ours. The unity of humanity has always existed, but it takes the silence of the last horizon for us to finally see it. Picture the scene. Across deserts and forests, cities and villages, oceans and mountains, people lift their eyes toward the same glow. Children, elders, lovers, and strangers. All of them share a moment that cannot be divided. The air is heavy yet sacred, as if the world itself is holding its breath. For the first time in history, every human heart beats to the same rhythm. Every soul bends toward the same horizon. The last sunset becomes a bridge that binds us, stripping away the illusions of separation. It shows us that we were never meant to live as enemies, but as a family scattered across continents. The unity of humanity is not forged in words or treaties, but in the simple, undeniable fact that we share the same fate. And when the sun dips for the final time, it does not choose who will walk into the dark. It takes us all together as one. When the last sunset bleeds across the sky and the light begins to fade, what remains is not the warmth of the sun, but the warmth of memory. The strength of memory is what allows humanity to endure even as the final shadows stretch across the earth. Long after the sun has sunk beneath the horizon, long after silence falls over oceans and mountains, memory glows within us like hidden embers. It is memory that keeps the story of existence alive, even as the last page is being written. Every smile shared, every embrace that lingered, every tear shed in sorrow or joy, all of it lives on in memory. When the light is gone, it is memory that preserves the laughter of children, the wisdom of elders, the courage of those who stood for what was right. It is memory that binds generations together, carrying the essence of those who came before into the hearts of those who remain. Even as the sky darkens, memory shines brighter, refusing to be extinguished. Imagine the world beneath its last light. Families gathered, strangers huddled side by side, friends holding hands in silence. In their hearts, they carry the stories of their lives. The places they traveled, the songs they loved, the faces they cherished. The strength of memory lies in its defiance of time. It cannot be stolen by nightfall, cannot be drowned by silence. Though the sun disappears, memory remains like an invisible constellation etched within the soul. The last sunset becomes more than a fading horizon. It becomes a vessel carrying the memories of humanity into the dark. It is through memory that love continues to exist, that voices long silent still echo, that moments thought lost forever are reborn in the mind's eye. Memory is not fragile, it is unbreakable. It is the light we carry within when the world outside surrenders to shadow. And as the final glow dissolves, it is memory that whispers, "We were here, we lived, we loved, we mattered," even as the last sunset sinks beneath the horizon. And the world feels draped in the silence of finality, there lingers a spark that refuses to die, the call to hope. Hope is not blind optimism, nor is it denial of what is ending. Hope is the quiet, unyielding belief that even in darkness, there is the seed of light waiting to be born. The last sunset, though it marks an ending, also whispers of beginnings unseen, for every dusk in history is carried within it the promise of another dawn. Hope takes root in the human spirit when everything else seems lost. It is seen in the eyes of a child who still believes in tomorrow, even as the sky burns its final glow. It is heard in the trembling voice of someone who whispers prayers into the silence, trusting that someone may be listening. It is felt in the hands that reach out to hold one another, choosing love over despair. The call to hope is not shouted. It is whispered, fragile yet unbreakable, like a flame that flickers but never goes out. Picture the horizon swallowing the sun for the last time. Oceans bathed in firelight, mountains crowned in crimson, cities wrapped in gold. As the glow fades, people close their eyes and imagine that perhaps, just beyond what they can see, there is a new world waiting. Perhaps the darkness is not an end, but a passage. Perhaps the last sunset is not the death of light, but the birth of something greater. This is the essence of hope. It thrives not in certainty, but in possibility. The call to hope reminds us that endings do not silence meaning. Even if the sun never rises again, the belief that something lies beyond gives strength to hearts that would otherwise break. Hope tells us that love does not vanish with the night, that courage is never wasted, and that even in the absence of light, humanity can still shine. It is hope that transforms fear into resilience, despair into defiance, and silence into a promise that the story is not over, even if the page seems to close. And now, the sky grows heavy, its fire dimming into the edge of eternity. The last traces of gold bleed into shadow. The crimson dissolves into a deep violet, and then into a darkness that no morning will ever chase away. The world holds its breath, as if afraid that even the sound of a whisper might shatter the fragile stillness of this moment. This is not just the ending of a day, it is the final heartbeat of time itself. Across the earth, humanity stands united beneath the fading light. Kings and beggars, lovers and strangers, the young and the old. Every face is turned toward the horizon. There are no borders here, no walls, no names that matter. In the presence of the last sunset, we are not divided by who we are, but joined by what we share. One people, one fate, one silence stretching across the earth. And in this silence, truth is revealed. The wars we waged, the hatred we carried, the pride that blinded us, all of it was smaller than we believed. For in this final light, we see what mattered all along. We see the touch of a hand, the warmth of a smile,